Hi everybody, welcome to the second literature course at Brighter Future Pathways. In this course we'll be using the Stecken Vaughan textbook. Some of the passages might be similar to the passages that you've already seen, but in this textbook we're going to be practicing answering questions much more. Every lesson will have 3 videos. The first lesson will be an introduction, which will introduce the topic for that lesson. Then you'll do the first quiz. There'll be an explanation video for the first quiz. Then there'll be a second quiz and an explanation video for that as well. So every lesson will have 3 videos and 2 quizzes. This is the introduction for lesson 1.
So if you would like to turn in your textbook to page 34, page 44, we're looking at the beginning of lesson 1. I would like you to pause the recording now and answer the questions on page 34 and 35. These questions are all about finding the main idea. Remember, to find the main idea, you look at the first sentence, you look at the last sentence, you look for words that are repeated, and you try to find what is the topic and what is the idea about the topic in the passage. So, pause the recording now and answer questions on page 34 and 35. So for question number 1, what is the main idea of this excerpt? Well, we start by reading the passage, and I think you've read this before. Only in the far west have windmills remained indispensable. Now, if something is indispensable, it means you cannot survive without it. So this is saying that they are very important. And we're talking about the West. Now, in answer B, it says they are not needed in the eastern part of the country. But we're not talking about the eastern part. We're talking about the West. So straight away, we can take away answer B because that's not going to be in the passage. We're talking about the West. So answer A or answer C. Windmills pump water for use by people and cattle in the West, or windmills play an important role in the life of the West. Well, indispensable means you cannot live without them. They are guideposts, they are landmark, they are a tower, they point the way home. So there's many ideas here. It's not just about pumping water, it's about being a guidepost, a landmark, a neighbor, a tower. So this first paragraph doesn't talk anything about pumping water for people or cattle. So the correct answer is going to be answer C. Question 2. Put a check mark next to the phrase that tells where the main idea appears in this excerpt. Well, the main idea appears in the very first sentence. Windmills have remained indispensable in the West. So the correct answer is going to be A, at the beginning. 3. Write the sentence from the excerpt that best states the main idea. Well, the second paragraph talks about being something that you see in the distance. The third paragraph talks about being used as a lookup tower. The next paragraph talks about being company for the women at home. So we're talking about many ways that the windmill is used. And because it is used in many ways, it is indispensable. So you should have copied this first sentence into the gap here. Now, from the first paragraph, lists 2 details about windmills that explain, describe, or support the main idea. So you could say that they are guideposts and landmarks. You could say that they are familiar neighbors. You could say that they have pointed the way home. Any of 2 of these 3 ideas would be acceptable. Question number 5. From the third paragraph, list 1 detail that supports the main idea. The third paragraph. So we're looking here. For the ranch woman, the windmill is often used as a lookout tower. It is used as a lookout tower, which she can climb and look off to the spot the return of her cowboy. When she sees the tide of red dust where the trails come together, she knows he is safe and it's time to put the biscuits in the oven. So the answer is it's used as a lookout tower, which the woman can climb. So used as a lookout tower that the women can climb. And then the last paragraph talks about how the windmills speak. How does this detail support the main idea? So we look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The windmills speak to those who listen. Spring is seldom, not very often, silent. The blades thrash and churn and chatter as the southwest wind batters the wind-worn plains. As the spring storms violate the land, the old windmill turns its cheek to the anger of the storm and stands firm. So it's about not being silent. Now, if we go back to the previous paragraph, we can see that the purr, the noise of the windmill, is often the woman's only company. So the farm will be a very lonely place. When the man goes off to be a cowboy, to look for animals, to do whatever he's doing out there, the woman is left alone on the farm. And the only noise that she has for company is the noise of the windmill. So the noise is company for the woman. You'll have your own words, of course. That's not a problem, but you should have something like that. Question 1, put a mark next to the main idea of the first paragraph. A is that TV ought to be more respected. B is that TV is not as respected as the movie business. So let's go and read that first paragraph. Television is a stepchild of the movie business. Movie stars and top directors often refuse to work in it. They rarely admit to watching it. Agents advise the clients it's the last resort for careers in distress, and writers and intellectuals patronize it. And patronize means to look down on it. So as we look at this passage, this paragraph, you can see the parts that I'd put in yellow. These parts are all negative things that people think about TV. It's a stepchild, not a real child. Top directors and stars, they often refuse to work for TV shows. They refuse to watch it or admit to watching it. And the clients do not want the agents do not want their clients to go and work in TV. And writers, intellectuals, they look down on TV. There's nothing here about TV should be more respected in the future. This is all about what currently happens, and this is all saying that TV is currently not seen very favorably. So the correct answer is B. It is not as respected as the movie business. Question 2, list the details that support the main idea of the first paragraph. So we are only looking at that first paragraph. So we can say it is a stepchild of the movie business. Movie stars, top directors refuse to work in it. They refuse to admit watching it. Agents advise their clients not to do it. And writers and intellectuals patronize it. There's 5 points. Probably you want the last 4. The first one is kind of a topic sentence. So choose those last 4 things. And you should have written them down here. Now, is the main idea of the first paragraph and the main idea of the rest of the excerpt the same, yes or no? Well, remember, the main idea of this first paragraph is that TV is looked down on. It is not seen as positively as movies. So as we look at the other paragraphs, what do they say? Well, starting at line 5, but for a while now, the movie business has been confronted with an uncomfortable fact of life. In terms of dramatic value, relevance, and humour, primetime television, well, much of it is far better than what's on at the movies. So the first paragraph is saying movies think they are better than TV. The second paragraph says TV is better than movies. And then the next paragraph, admissions of this come grudgingly, reluctantly, for the most part, but they do come. Especially this last week when the film industry struggled to find 5 films to nominate for Academy Awards. They could not find 5 good films that year to nominate for the highest award. No such difficulties face TV. TV has many good shows. So again, this is how TV is good. Once or twice a night, there are TV shows that are vivid, powerful, funny, sometimes all 3. So every night there are good TV shows. And a reason why TV is better than movies, has surpassed movies, many people in Hollywood say, is that it is a writer's medium, while films are dominated by the directors. So the rest of the passage is saying how TV is better than movies. Only the first paragraph said that TV was not very good. So is the main idea the same? No. The main idea is the opposite. Now, question 4. What is the main idea of the whole excerpt? Answer A. Television is not as entertaining as movies, but actually it said TV is better than the movies. So answer A is the opposite, so it's wrong. Answer B. Television insults the intelligence of viewers, but the paragraph said TV do not insult the intelligence, does not insult the intelligence. So answer B is also wrong. C, television is better than the movies. Well, that's what these paragraphs are saying, that TV is better than the movies. D, television does not live up to its potential. TV is not as good as it could be, but the passage is saying how great TV is. One way to look at this is to think about the answers. Are they positive or negative about the subject of TV? Well, answer A, TV is not as entertaining as movies. Answer B, television insults the intelligence of the viewers. And D, television does not live up to its potential. A, C, and D are all negative about TV. Only C is positive about TV, and the majority of the passage is positive about TV. If you see that difference, that C is the only positive one, then you should have found this question quite easy. Now, is the main idea stated directly, or do you have to infer it? Do you have to guess it? Well, the main idea is basically that TV is better than movies. And it says very clearly in the second paragraph, television is far better than what's on at the movies. And then there are reasons why. But the main idea is stated clearly at the end of the second paragraph. So the answer is A. Yes, it is stated directly. This last question is a bit difficult. But first of all, think, what is the main idea? TV is better than movies. Why? What details support that? Well, TV has no difficulty nominating shows for awards. No difficulty nominating shows for awards. Once or twice a night, there are good TV shows. Some TV shows are vivid, powerful, and funny. TV shows do not insult the intelligence of the viewers. And you could also have TV is a writer's medium. These are all the details. These are all the reasons why TV is better than movies. Don't worry if you struggle with that question. It is a very difficult question. And let's be honest,
It's not going to be that style of question in your GED exam, so don't worry about it. Let's go forward.